My wife of 5 years accused me of cheating on her when I did not. I hope everyone doesn't mind that this is a throwaway. I just don't want this type of post associated with my main account. I think people will understand as I continue. I'm still struggling to get all my thoughts together here, so please bear with me if I'm all over the place. This just recently happened. So I just finished my shift. I was working the late shift today, so I rolled in close to midnight. Nothing unexpected or out of the ordinary. When I got home, I found my wife to still be awake. Great, I thought. Usually it's about a 50-50 chance that she will still be awake when I get home from the late shift, and when she's awake usually we'll spend some time together, play some games, watch some TV, etc., before going to bed. She's playing some Overwatch when I come home, so I greet her warmly and tell her that I'm just going to get changed and cleaned up and I would come and join her as soon as I'm done. She just nods, which is unusual. Usually she'll say something like, "Sounds good, can't wait," so it is at this point that I am getting some signals that not all is well. I wash up and join her in our computer room, where she is just sitting at our desk staring at the Overwatch menu screen on her computer. I sit down at my computer, they are beside each other on a massive desk we have, and bought up my game. Once I get to the menu screen, I turn to her and say, "Well, I'm ready to play, or did you want to talk about our days first?" She doesn't respond. I realize that she hasn't said anything at all yet, and she's just staring down at the floor. I ask her if everything is okay, and she just says, "You're cheating on me, aren't you?" This caught me completely by surprise. She's never mentioned anything about suspecting this before, and it's not like I've been exhibiting shady behavior or anything. It's not like I'm out long nights, or not telling her where I'm going. The fact of the matter is that I almost rarely go out at all anymore. This is what I want, not forced to or anything, and I can't remember that last time I went out for a night without her. My days usually consist of going to work, coming home, doing housework, then free time, which I usually use to play video games, study personal passions of mine, or cook something new and delicious I can share with her. On my days off, it's the same thing minus the going to work part. I love my life. While my work sucks, the big one, the salary I receive more than enough. It lets us live a happy and comfortable life where financial stresses aren't something that's on our radar. We have a beautiful home, with our beautiful pets, and I love my wife more than anything. I would sacrifice anything for her, I would die for her. We have always had a very strong relationship. I can't imagine ever finding a more compatible person for me than her. She's my best friend and my closest confidant. I would never do anything to disturb the amazing life we share together. I trust her more than anyone, and I always thought that she trusted me, but I guess not. I'm sorry about this kind of tangent just before I get to the meat of the story. The point here that I want to get across to everyone is that this completely surprised me, and the reason it blindsided me so much that I always thought our relationship was rock solid. As well that I wasn't, consciously at least, exhibiting shady behavior that would give her the impression that I was cheating. In any case, back to what happened. I stammered for a bit, trying to collect myself. Like I said before, I honestly couldn't believe what I was hearing. Once I composed myself a bit, I denied the allegation completely. I told her that of course I would never cheat on her, and that I loved her very much. She told me that she didn't believe me. It was at this point my surprise and disbelief gave way to indignation. I asked her, "On what grounds do you not believe me? I've given her absolutely no reason for her to believe that I'm cheating on her." She told me that she had her reasons. I asked her to give me one, and she told me that recently I came home from work smelling like another woman. Again, I was flummoxed. I asked if she could tell me what days so I could get something that I could maybe defend myself with. I told her that I never once touched any of my female coworkers at work under any circumstances. Not even for a friendly hug or handshake, which is completely true. She said this happened about a month ago. I reiterated again that I had not touched anyone of the opposite sex besides her. She again said that she didn't believe me. I told her that if she was going to accuse me of such a horrible crime, that she better have a lot of evidence to prove it. I think I might have messed up here because she said, "So that means there is evidence then." It is at this point that I must have visibly looked upset. I can't remember exactly what I said, but it was something like, That's an awful thing to say about someone without any proof. She then looked at me with a look of disdain I had never seen in her and said, "Why are you angry?" I was exasperated at this point and said, "I've just been accused of a horrible act that I haven't committed and I'm extremely upset." Her look of disdain then changed to one of pure anger. I'll probably never forget what she looked like and what she said. It's the scene from this whole exchange that keeps playing over and over again in my head. She screamed, "You're upset. What right do you have to be upset? You're not the one who's been cheated on." Well, F asterisk 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 you, my name here, F asterisk 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 you. 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 At that last part she was continually putting her middle finger in my face. After that she stormed out of the room and locked the bedroom door. Then I just kind of wallowed in my own despair for a bit. She's never insulted me like that, sworn at me like that, or been that angry or upset. I keep going through different emotions, sadness, anger, confusion. But right now it's the anger that's winning out. Why would she said something like that about me? Why was she so insistent in not believing me? It's not like she can present any evidence I did this because it didn't happen. There's no evidence to present. I guess on my side there isn't any evidence to present either. But how can one prove a negative? How can you prove you didn't do something? It was like the more I denied that crime, the more that denial was used as evidence that I in fact did commit the crime. That being said, the main reason I'm so angry is because I'm starting to feel like she crafted this whole scenario to hurt me as much as humanly possible. I hope you all will indulge me for a bit here, but it's like the scenario is perfectly crafted to hit all my weaknesses and vulnerabilities. My greatest fear isn't snakes, or heights, or public speaking. It's being accused of a crime that you didn't commit. The whole idea that you know you're innocent and didn't do anything wrong, but no one will believe you. That everyone hates you for something that you didn't do, but no matter how much you defend yourself, they will never help you. It terrifies me. This is something I have shared with her on several occasions. She knows this is my greatest fear, and that's why I feel like she's crafted this scenario to hurt me as much as possible. On top of that, being a morally ethical person is one of my most important goals in life. Not necessarily for anyone, but to be able to look at myself in the mirror and know that I'm a decent human being. I don't know if anyone here has seen the show The Good Place, but there is a character in that show that I really identify with, Chitty, the moral philosopher. I spend a good chunk of my free time studying that same ethical philosophers this character did, and spend way more time than I should agonizing over the ethical consequences of my actions, trying to decide what is the most ethical choice. This is another thing my wife knows about me. She also knows that in my opinion cheating is about the worst technically legal action which a person can do. She knows how important it is for my own personal self-fulfillment to be an ethical human being. So her attacking my ethical character and decision-making is a real stab in the gut. That's when the confusion comes back. I just don't know what I've done to her that would result in her acting this way. Why would she want to hurt me like that? It doesn't make any sense. Like I said before, we have always had a great relationship. I'm very open, I don't keep anything from her. We haven't fought about anything in months before this, and all the fights before this have been tame and easily resolved. I just can't fathom where she would get this idea that I cheated on her, and it is driving me insane. Considering she won't talk to me at all, it's not like I would get a straight answer. And would she give it to me even if she was talking to me? I'm not sure. So I guess my question is, what should I do from here? Should I let her emotions burn out before trying to speak with her again? How can I show her that I didn't cheat on her? Before anyone says it, no, I have no intention of leading my wife over this. There is no question this is the worst I've felt so far in this relationship, but that good has been so good that I'm not even close to the point where I would consider ending it. Whether she is laying groundwork to leave me right now is an open question, however. The last thing I was to say before I finish this novel is that, yes, the thought she had cheated on me has crossed my mind, and that this whole thing is an elaborate scheme to somehow shift blame from something terrible she did onto me. I've read before that cheaters will sometimes accuse the opposite partner of cheating as sort of a projection move. While I can't deny that is it impossible, I certainly think it is improbable. First, she hasn't shown any shady behavior that would lead me to believe she is cheating. She's not going out for hours on end. She's not constantly on her phone or computer talking to other people. She hasn't been sexually unavailable. The only time she could do something is while I'm at work. We have different schedules where there are times when she is at work and I am home alone and vice versa. If she did do something, she probably couldn't do it in our house. We have a large German Shepherd that just hates strangers with a passion. I can't see anyone she might bring to the house that our dog would be okay with. She could be going out that and leaving the dog at home while I'm at work though. However, if she did that, it would be recorded on our front door cam that she left the house, and while I haven't looked at the past footage, I just don't think the possibility of her doing that is very high, so at this point I have no intention of reviewing that footage. Plus, it also seems like it would be a super creepy thing to do. Anyway, I'm really sorry for the length of this post. This is all so new and raw that I wanted to get everything out as fast as I could, and I've only just started that process of organizing my thoughts. TLDR, I come home from work only to have wife accuse me of cheating on her. I absolutely did not and haven't been showing any behavior that would make her think this, coming home late, spending all my time on my phone talking to other people, etc. I denied this accusation, but that just made her angrier. This resulted in a heated argument that ended with her cussing me out and storming out the room. Something which she had never done before. So now I wonder, what do I do? How do I prove a negative? How do I talk to her when she's so heated? How do I clear my name? I crushed my ex-wife's hopes after she cheated on me. Bit of background, I'm 36M as of now. The characters have been a bit altered by their names. Rebecca, my ex-wife, now 34, James, my collage buddy, and the guy Rebecca cheated on me with, Saladin, my other guy friend, Lisa, Saladin's cousin. So Rebecca and I were what you call college sweethearts. We survived college and the hardships of life. Got married in our early 20s, I was 25, she was 23, ever since we got married, things were rocky. Not from the start, but situation-wise. I was in medical while she was an accounting major. There were things that was okay with me, but was not with her. Despite being married, she acted like she was a free bird, she was. It's a good thing, but there was marital neglect from her side. 2016, she joins James' company as an accountant because it pays well. I was happy because hey, he's a buddy of mine. Slowly she started to complain about things that were in place. She didn't like where we lived, had problems with everything I did, she did not like the food she used to. I'm a great cook and she loved my foods. Our fights intensified by a margin where she would call me names. I'm good for nothing. She earned more than me. Coming to this part later on, drastic turn was here that Rebecca and James were hanging out with our set of mutual friends. I got the word of it and it seemed off. I confronted both of them, to which they both said it was a sudden plan and I was in field. Coincidentally, it happened on the same day I was out of city. They might have planned it beforehand, which I'm not sure of. 2017, the year my marriage blew up. So I was sure there was something because my bedroom became a fucking dead one. I was increasingly paranoid, and whenever I tried to address things I was turned down. Now I'm not a saint, I constantly yelled at her to tell me what was going on because there was just something off. Your favorite person rarely talks or does stuff with you and they claim it's nothing. Does this sound okay? It was also the year we were at our peak financially because our debts were paid off. My friends and I decided to open up a medical shop that provided medicine shop as a side venture. So one of the friends was Saladin. He proposed that we celebrate it at a pub. When we go there, I notice a girl that looks exactly like Rebecca. She was dancing with another man and it was quite dark. I get a closer look, lo and behold. It's Rebecca and James, dancing hand to hand. I wasn't much bothered about it because hey, they're friends. I was here with my colleagues and she was there with her. But it was bothering me. I decided to send her a text asking where was she. She's usually on her way home at this time. She told me she was already at home. Now that was a red flag. I told her to stop lying because she wasn't. I could clearly see her that she was getting paranoid and told me she was on her way. She left the pub afterwards. That night I asked her about James. The look she gave me was as if she saw a ghost because she was not expecting that question. That look was what that told me something was definitely up. If you ask your so about a friend, they should act normally, but the way she acted was abnormal. That night itself, I snooped her phone. Curiosity was killing me. The password was changed so I couldn't see the phone. The next day, I saw her password and snooped it. There were hundreds of thousands of texts right there. Countless nudes, calling him daddy, degrading comments. My wife and I made a vow to each other that if there was ever anything we needed to explore, we would be transparent to each other. She broke that vow too. She confided about him how much thrill she felt that night at pub. I went through everything. What hurt the most was she herself told me if one of us ever got bored of the other or needed to spice things up, we will let each other know. She destroyed everything. I couldn't look at her the way I used to anymore. I cried the night and confronted her stupidly without any evidence the next morning. She yelled at me and stormed out after telling me I was abusive and insane. She told all our friends that I was abusive. That afternoon, they created a messenger group where everyone ganged up to troll me. When she came home that night, she told me she was in love with James and wants a divorce. I told her to talk first, but it turned into her berating me. I yelled at her and she called the cops. I was asked to spend the night elsewhere. I went to my sister's, and when I returned the next morning, James' car was here. He spent the night here. There was nothing needed to explain. He was doing it on purpose. Hell, she was doing it on purpose. I went to see a lawyer. As we did not have a prenup, she already filed a complaint about me being abusive. It didn't look good for me. Not one did she try to apologize. Not one did she try to make amends. Our country law doesn't count infidelity as a fault. So even with that, she's entitled to half of my everything. But her complaint can sue me up. Few days after that, where I was still living with my sister, I tried contacting Rebecca, but she won't reply to me. Rebecca hit me up telling me we should get divorced. That's it. 12 years of relationship, 4 years of marriage, and she ends it with a text. I was fucking convinced that James was taking my place. She handed me the divorce papers. Everyone from our friend circle was convinced that I was a fucking abuser and James was her savior. She did the right thing to cheat on me. We were officially divorced during the start of 2018. She was already dating James open during our divorce. He was her life. I lost my job, my house, my reputation in her little affair. I had to change the city to move someplace else to restart again. Saladin helped me massively in that fresh start. He got me a decent paying job that was nowhere like my previous one, but it was better than the rest. We became close buddies while I was working to earn back what I had. Dating life was over for me. I just couldn't trust anyone. It was a complete NC between me and Rebecca. Last I heard was she moved in with James. They were doing great. Revenge part. End of 2020, my life was actually blowing up. COVID helped our cause with broken backs but filled our pockets. Our pharmacy venture turned huge, so I was able to make much money. I met a friend of mine from whom I got a tip that James and Reb were done. James cheated on her and left her. But Reb had a child with James. He was absent since birth, so he did not sign the birth certificate, so Reb is raising that child as a single parent. She tried dating, but she was not over me or James. The audacity. Part of me was happy with it, but gosh, I really missed her. I sent her an email asking how was she doing. She wasn't expecting to hear from me. We exchanged mails and reconnected. Our first meet was in 2021 after several years. She looked like shit. She gained weight, lost the charm, and looked utterly exhausted all the time. Frankly, just her look made my blood boil and triggered me, but I also want to take my revenge on her. Life had already done that on my part, but I'm an asshole. I wasn't done with her. She told me about James and reopened the earlier wounds. I got my closure, which made me feel a bit better, I guess. She said she was sorry. She wasn't thinking straight what she was doing. James poisoned her mind against me. I told her I will forgive her if she comes clean to everyone and clears my name out. She did that, losing a lot of friends, but she deserved that. My name was clean. She wanted us to date again, clear words, make me raise that asshole James' child. I told her I would agree to it, but we needed to date and marry first. Only then I will legally adopt her child. That little guy is adorable and I had taken a liking to him. Here is the truth, I was already seeing someone. Pretty safe to say I was cheating on that woman with Reb. She was a client of mine from a different country. We were in a LDR. Reb and I were living in different cities, so I never moved in with her. But I played it well by saying I need to travel for business. So I was only getting Rebecca's hopes up to crush her like she crushed me. We were getting intimate, but condoms were used. Rebecca felt she found love again. I pushed her to therapy to get her be normal again. Everyone was commenting how she was getting more happier with me. She would praise and then say sorry. Do little things for me that she used to when she was married to me. Trust me when I say, I had a lot of emotions attached to this woman. I considered my revenge if it was a good thing to break her heart. She might be traumatized for a lifetime. But she did not think of my heart and we were married. Why should I think of hers? Her birthday was coming up last year October, lockdown was eased up and my someone, it's Lisa, was in my city. For the birthday gift, I grabbed Rebecca for ring shopping. She picked out her favorite ring, then I got it wrapped. She was elated because of that. That night, she came up to me crying that she was sorry for hurting me. She looked genuinely remorseful, but I had no feelings for her except indifference. Lisa was Saladin's cousin. I already told her everything beforehand. She was against my revenge idea, but I managed to convince her somehow. On Rebecca's birthday, I drove her to our favorite spot when we were married. It's a nature's place. Lisa was already waiting there. I introduced Lisa to Rebecca that Lisa's my GF. Rebecca went white and asked me what does she mean? What is she then? I introduced her to Lisa as Rebecca, my ex-wife and FWB. There and then, I proposed to Lisa with that ring. Rebecca went man and started yelling, to which I replied, how the F can she expect us to work out when she nuked us? I'm never dating a dirtbag like her again. She asked me again and again if we meant nothing. I told her nope. Sleeping WTH her was compensation for the pain. I got her to clear up the pain she put me through. Lisa was holding me back. She saw Rebecca was hurting. I told Rebecca that she needs to leave. She told everyone that I cheated and I was an asshole. This time, I took it as a pride. Everyone saw the dirtbag she was. She cheated on me and made me pay a high price for a falsified abuse. Now she wants me to raise her kid and date her? The last we connected was in December of last year. She wrote me a letter that how much sorry she is because she can't imagine putting me through the pain that she already put me through. She hoped I live a better life. Last I heard, she was completely uninterested in dating. Looks shit. As of me, I and Lisa stopped dating. There were differences between us. I'd like to add an edit, people who are saying I'm worse than my ex. Can you please, at least for the love of God, point out how am I worse than her? She cheated. I loved her and she fucking cheated on me. She costed me my home, my job, my image, my reputation, my friends. I was an abuser to everyone. I gave her a taste of her own medicine, yes, by hurting someone else, now I'm worse than her? I don't want judgment. This is nuclear revenge and I'm sharing my revenge stories. I may emotionally scarred her. But that's what she did to me.